Welcome to your weekly interval. This is the Best Damn Nerd Show. I am your host, microphone alchemist James Kincaid. With me tonight, Imperial Commissar Jeff Budd.
Hello.
Hall of Fame cyber athlete Jonathan Craig. And John's on mute, so I'm going to flip-flop his place in the pecking order there. John, you're muted.
He's where?
All right, moving right along then. You know what? Redo. Also with me, Chief Science Officer from Star Labs, Mark Trex.
Hi.
I was worried about your mic there for a second too, Mark.
Should have came to me first.
I should have. I should have.
Sorry, Mark. I'm on.
It's just what we do here. Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show.
Order. You could even say I'm.
This episode, we're going to be talking about. Welcome back, everybody.
Jupiter's Legacy.
I haven't watched it. Have you watched that?
No, but I have read it.
Oh, is it good? What's Jupiter's Legacy?
Mark, I think, recommended it to me, and then I don't think you lent it to me, though, Mark. I think I read it at a bookstore.
I have the first 4 of them.
Oh, maybe you lent me those, and then I read
Jupiter's
the prequel.
Legacies, and then Jupiter Circle. Yeah,
I read Circle in a store. It's about like multi-generations of superheroes. And, like the first generation is more like your golden
altruistic.
age. Yeah, it's just more of like your classic superhero type stuff, and then the next generation is more like a Gen X type superhero thing, and it's not as good. I like the prequel. Prequel is great.
Yeah, prequel is super good.
Yeah, but I hear the show is actually decent. So
I'm only 2 episodes in, and it's not nailing it for me because I was a fan of the source material, and I'm going to watch any of it. Yeah, handsome devil, can't make him look old. Can't make him look old.
I know. Covering that face with a beard, it just doesn't seem right.
Doesn't fit.
No,
it's like everyone that they try to age in it, which God bless them for trying to like let a character do both sides of their story, the young and the old.
For sure.
But they all look like they're playing pretend, and I get it's pretend, but it looks like they're playing pretend.
Well, I actually
think
the difference. The guy who's playing his brother though looks like him in the modern day. I thought the costume and his looked pretty solid. I can't think of the character's name anymore, but he has like the mastermind abilities. Yeah, thank you. Yep. Yeah, he looked straight out of the pages. Everybody else looked a little off to me. I mean, I like Josh Duhamel, but he doesn't have the right build for that character either.
Yeah,
and it's probably too pretty for him.
Yeah, John, you're grinning like a Cheshire cat over there.
Speaking of, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Is this mic working?
Yes, that is working. Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, this microphone.
Could you go back to the other mic, please?
Fuck off. This microphone has lasted quite some years, but it's definitely on its last leg. So
well, welcome to the program.
I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into what we're actually here for in this segment. We're going to be talking more Invincible on the program today. We're going to be talking about Legends of the Hidden Temple being rebooted with adults and other Nickelodeon game shows and favorites and stuff like that. But to kick things off, the finals of the Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter bracket battle have come and gone.
Still going on?
No, it's over now.
Who's the idiot who wanted so many people?
The Illuminati. I would not say such things if I were you.
My feed just cuts out.
Yeah, their rage can be swift and without mercy. But the finals were set. It was Sub-Zero versus Sagat. And Sub-Zero with a pretty definitive victory. The Cinderella story of Sagat. He might have been on the villain side, but he was a hero in a lot of fans' hearts.
Some would say that about Sub-Zero.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Your sort of worst nightmare coming to be that Sub-Zero, who you saw as a villain,
doesn't make sense.
Winning it for the heroes. Jeff, explain it to him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something. I'm not
Well, Mark's complaining about Sub-Zero being on the hero's side.
Oh, dude, idiot. Mark, come on. It's Kuai Liang.
No.
The younger brother's always been a hero. Have you played any Mortal Kombat game in like this century?
No. This century? No. DC?
Yeah, that's
the DC ones?
Actually, I don't even know who the Sub-Zero is in that. Is that supposed to be Kuai Liang? I don't even know when that takes place in the timeline or if it even matters.
I've seen
either way.
Sub-Zero's
a good guy.
Dude's evil. I'm just saying, cold as ice.
Wait, you saw the second movie? And by second, Annihilation or whatever. He was a good guy in that. He saved Liu Kang from
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Just the original and the new one. evil.
I mean,
look,
Mark.
Those are both Bihan, though. That's Noob Saibot, and he was on the evil side. This is his younger brother, who was originally named Tundra, even though we never knew him under that name. He's Sub-Zero.
So this is really Sub-Zero 2?
This is Sub-Zero.
So Sub-Zero 2, the Super Sub-Zero?
Look, Mark,
the sequel, yeah.
I'm with you. That
the majority of Sub-Zero is Kuai Liang.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, Sub-Zero.
Suspect.
So your overall thoughts on how the tournament shook out before we are going to be giving to you, Nerdosphere, an ending befitting of this tournament, a Mortal Kombat-esque ending here for Sub-Zero's victory. But before we do that,
half the roster is Street Fighter.
Yeah, well, it's a Street Fighter-esque ending.
And then,
the winner was Mortal Kombat.
If you count Chun-Li, I guess a little over half.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. But your overall thoughts on how the tournament played out, Jeff?
I mean, we have already spoiled it that Sub-Zero won. Which is fine, because I feel like he's a top-tier candidate. He's one of the ones that probably was a favorite to win in the first place. I'm happy with it. I'm glad that a hero won, because that means that the Nerdosphere continues to survive in the canon. Otherwise, we were going to have to do some sort of Elseworlds Nerdosphere. It wouldn't have been as fun. Maybe we could have changed like roles on the show or something like that. You know, it's like Microphone Alchemist Jeff Budd. Oh my God, he's the Microphone Alchemist in Universe like 67 or something like that. Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked what happened with Victor Sagat too. You know, Cinderella's story.
Yeah.
You know, former champion. You know, hard times, and then made good. He's back. You know, it's like Cinderella Man.
Yeah, and he lost in the end.
Well, there you go.
There he is. Marco, other than your besmirchment that Sub-Zero's on the hero side, what did you think about just how the whole thing played out?
Sub-Zero and the heroes, no Kung Lao, you son of a bitch. Overall, I mean, pretty exciting. I was definitely a Chun-Li guy. I was really hoping Chun-Li was going to go far. So the fact that she beat out...
She went super free. She beat Ryu.
I was hoping she would win.
Hero finals.
Hoping she would win.
Well, you don't even count Sub-Zero as the hero, so...
Exactly.
She was the top hero for you.
Yeah, in Mark's mind, she was the last hero standing.
Yeah. She's fantastic. So that was really cool, though, to see her come so far. And Madu Goro getting so far. That was exciting. I was giving him the one-up every time. Like, yeah, frightful. Definitely big bad villain. He has 4 hands. Come on.
I don't know. Did you see the Mortal Kombat movie?
Yeah, any of them.
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
The first one.
So it was fun. I liked it shaking out in the Discord and people rallying behind the characters they enjoyed. Definitely a couple upsets that I didn't expect, and Sub-Zero to win it all. Come on, lame.
What are you talking about? He's like one of the most popular characters in both games.
Honestly, other than Ryu, if it wasn't Ryu, Sub-Zero was who I thought would win. That was one of the
voting criteria. Wait, what's up?
I said, other than Ryu, Sub-Zero would have been who I thought would have won. So once, I mean, I expected Ryu versus Sub-Zero in the hero finals, honestly.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, like with Ryu, it's like I don't think anybody is against Ryu, but I don't know how many people consider him their favorite. You know what I mean? It's like I genuinely like Ryu, so I voted for him. I voted for him. I think every time he was up against somebody. I don't think he was ever up against anybody that I would have liked more. But I mean,
I would have voted for him over Scorpion or Sub-Zero, and I love the Lin Kuei and
I wanted Ryu versus Shao Kahn, so yeah, I definitely would have voted for him. But I think it's fine. And then also, like, just looking at like Street Fighter V, he's not even really in the main story. Like Chun-Li actually is more of like, you know, one of the protagonists as opposed to him. That's why the Street Fighter story kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and Mortal Kombat beats him in that is because what are you doing with like your main guy? He's growing a beard and he's like living by himself somewhere.
He's homeless.
This is stupid. Yeah. I guess he was always homeless. Really.
When I think fighting games, though,
punching trees and throwing air kicks.
Your mic sounds terrible now, John. But yeah, when I think fighting games, I think Ryu pretty much more than anyone else. So, but you know, Chun-Li had a lot of
Smash Brothers.
That's right. Well, what were you saying in Discord? By the way, that's bestdamnerdshow.com/Discord. If you wish to opine about Chun-Li and Sub-Zero.
Yeah, what was it called? PlayStation All Stars or something like that. It was like PlayStation's version of Smash Brothers.
Smash.
We played it at that demo in Comic-Con where like I was Nathan Drake and I forget they had They had a bunch of characters basically from the PlayStation games. What they wanted to do was, as far as DLC characters go, they were going to have Sub-Zero represent Mortal Kombat, and they were going to have Chun-Li represent Street Fighter. And the thing is, there's never been a video game where Mortal Kombat characters and Street Fighter characters have actually met before. So that would have been the first game ever in history where that would have been the case. And it was Sub-Zero and Chun-Li that they chose as the representatives. And this was something that was just like on an idea wall that somebody from Sony was able to share. So it's like they were way down the line of ever even like really making that happen. And then since the game tanked, it obviously didn't happen. But at least that was one of the things that they were discussing. So that would have been kind of cool if that was the case. And I'm just sort of happy that with the Nerdosphere, the way we voted, we got to see Sub-Zero versus Chun-Li, and we saw how it played out, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do wish the final had been a little bit more competitive, but it is what it is. Here we are now, and it's time.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have been championing Sagat. Maybe we should have had a real villain in there.
I mean, I was
never would have won.
Look how much my championing him did for him in the final round. Not very well at all. But let's get to this. The ending.
Nobody beats Sub-Zero.
the ending of the tournament. We've got a little something special here for you. So here we go. This is the canon ending for the Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter bracket battle. With a definitive uppercut, Sub-Zero vanquished his final foe and claimed ultimate victory in the tournament. With his triumph, Sub-Zero saved Earthrealm and the Nerdosphere from certain destruction. As the new Grand Champion, he feels finally the time has come to set right his complicated and convoluted past once and for all, and reveal his true identity. I am the one true Sub-Zero. I always have been and always will be. I am Sub-Zero, the new Grand Champion and deadliest of the Lin Kuei. And as he removes his mask, he shouts, I am Cole Young. Amid the wailing and cries of horror in the distance, the mischievous laughter of Quan Chi can be heard. And there it is, your Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter bracket battle canon ending.
Yeah,
the hero we all knew we needed, Cole Young, is Sub-Zero.
I don't want it.
Further muddying the sort of lineage and identity of who Sub-Zero really is. But according to this, actually now, he's been Sub-Zero all along through all the games. So we got that. So we've coalesced under the Cole Young banner for all you Sub-Zero fans. So hope everybody's excited.
I feel the Warner Brothers execs have somehow weighed in and taken control of our tournament. I don't know when that happened. That's who
we face in the sequel is Ann Sarnoff sitting on Shao Kahn's throne. So
pathetic.
but there it is. Cole Young, your Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter bracket battle champion. Congrats, everybody. You voted for this. You all did this. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we are going to be getting into Invincible. I can't really, it's a podcast, so I can't really just not say anything. Yeah. All right. We're going to talk Invincible on the other side on the Best Damn Nerd Show.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, boys.
All right.
I'm on my phone right now.
My man.
Oh.
Well, enjoy the show. Invincible is fun.
Yeah, what did you think of Invincible so we can at least echo your sentiment?
I don't really like animated series, but I liked this one. The music was really good and the story was the story was good, heartwarming at first and tragic at the end.
All right.
Very heartbreaking, but it is what it is. It's not often you see a show where a dad beats the shit out of his son for like 25 minutes straight.
I found that very relatable.
All right, have a good show, boys.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid, Jeff Budd, Mark Truex. We had to drop off John because, he was going to try and derail this Invincible segment and talk about how it didn't have any story and how much he hated it. Try and make me blow my top again. So, in an effort to actually have this podcast go according to plan, I just, cut his mic and ejected him from the show. But we press forward to talk more about Invincible. I know we said that there would be a video about that. I don't know what the status of Davis and I's Invincible review is, but odds are you'll hear this before you see that video. And who better to talk about it?
Davis.
Sorry, Davis. But
consider you more of a pet than a co-host.
But Jeff, you finished watching it. Mark, have you watched it or just okay? You've watched it, and okay. Mm-hmm. So Excellent. So we have some experts here on our panel as we dive back into
it's like the boys all over again.
Yeah, this is great. Well, hopefully not season 2 and beyond, but
it's still season 1. I'm really into it. I'm all bought in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm gonna read it. There's no way it'll ruin it for me.
No, and I read it and I loved it. I can't wait for season 2. Dun, dun, dun.
But
then my
now,
face turns like Omni-Man. I'm just not happy.
Now that Jeff, you've finished it, your just overall take on the series, and Mark, then we'll kick it over to you and we can talk about the comics and stuff too. But what did you think?
Dude, what a stellar first season. I really enjoyed the story. John had mentioned it in between takes here before he had to be booted. As far as just the music was great. I felt the same way. Like the first scene of him flying around in his costume around the city, like I was just like really into it. I was kind of experiencing it along with Mark Grayson, not Mark Truex, as far as just like what it felt like to be like the superhero just starting out and the wonder of it. I thought it was a very interesting and cool take on what it's like to start off as a superhero and then the legacy that he has. I liked a lot of the characters. I don't think I disliked any character.
There was one
like Amber gets
Rexplode.
some hate online, and see, I actually don't dislike Rexplode. I wish he had done one thing different, but other than that, I didn't think he was actually so bad.
Yeah, I didn't like Rexplode, but other than that, I pretty much liked everybody. Wait, who did you say gets hate online?
Amber gets hate. Well, because, her just bitching to Mark all the time.
That's
and
true.
It's like, I mean, I get it from her perspective, but then at the same time, when you find out it's like she realized that he is invincible and she's still giving him shit, it's like, hey, come on. If anybody should be mad.
Well, Adam Eve anyway. That's who I'm shipping. Is Invincible and Adam Eve.
Well, because he definitely was enamored with Adam Eve as soon as he saw her. And I just feel like, I don't know, you're a superhero, you kind of belong like
they understand the life.
Yeah, they live the same life. So I think it would be kind of cool. And I don't know, they're such a cute team together, and they're good friends. At the same time, though, I don't know if I want to ruin that friendship. I do like the two of them just as friends, too.
Take it to the next level.
It was a cool dynamic having those sort of two parallel tracks, because it's like you are sort of rooting for Mark and Amber to be together.
It's a nice normal life.
And but then there is that sort of also that allure of, Mark and Adam Eve, or Invincible and Adam Eve. It's like Superman and Wonder Woman being together versus Superman and Lois Lane in a certain sense, although I would always root for Superman and Lois Lane.
Did I.
But, there's something about the visual of Superman and Wonder Woman that just also makes sense because of who they are and their stature and everything. But I just, what a cool world was the main thing that I took away from it. It was nice because you can recognize the archetypes and everything like that. This is kind of like a Superman. This is kind of like a Batman and Martian Manhunter and on down the line and stuff. Yet there are newer characters in there, but because they don't have all the baggage, not baggage, but the lineage of like 80 years of publication and stuff like that, is I'm just way more open in this world. Like, okay, whatever you want to give me from these characters, it's completely blank slate, and I'm here for it. It was fun. It was because it was a world that I instantly bought into, but I didn't know where it was going to end up, and I was fine with whatever they were sort of throwing at me. So I really love the lore. That's why I wish we could have gotten more time with the Guardians of the Globe, because I was just really enjoying them, and like hearing about the other super teams was some of my favorite stuff from the show as well. Like I forget which is the team that Adam Eve said sucked.
Keep shitting on them.
Fight Force.
Fight Force. Yeah, they got beat by the lizard people or whatever it was.
Oh, I saw that on TV. Yeah,
Lizard League. So I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do think that, and we can get into it, some of the violence was maybe a little gratuitous and too much at times for my personal taste. But I know
hey, that's just you.
That's just me. It's the Game of Thrones thing all over again. And
I thought all of that was fine. I think it's important that it's like visceral like that. That's what they were going for.
And that's totally according to taste. But Mark, what did you, as somebody that has read the series, what did you think, Mark?
So I've read the series, and it's been a little time in the past. I don't have as great of a memory as Jeff does on recall on story beats and things.
No one has a better memory than Jeff. It's canon.
That's my superpower.
But I loved Invincible.
Memory man.
I've loved Invincible and really enjoyed reading it. And I just remembered a lot of the main story beats, the Omni-Man robot, a bunch of the characters, the Guardians. and so getting to see it turned into basically this live action form in a sense, because it's spitting image from the comic book. It really is. They translated this beautifully into animation. And so that was the most exciting when I first heard that they were adapting it and doing it in animation, then seeing like the first items coming out of it is like, that looks just like the comic. That looks like Ryan Otley's artwork. It's awesome. And getting to watch it, absolutely loved it. They played with the storylines just a little bit as far as how like the cadences of certain storylines, but how they ended up packaging it into a 45-minute, serial was great. I thought it played out like a high quality television drama. It was just animated. The way that they carried each story beat and the character developments. And that's one thing with Robert Kirkman's properties is he does character development really well, and it's about people's relationships and how they interact with each other. It's not just about the zombies or superpowers and so forth. It's about everyone intermingling together in that world. It really
would be nice if it was a little bit more about the zombies.
More invested with the people.
I was. Where's Shane? Yeah. I miss Shane.
Shane died in issue 6.
I know. What a stupid move that was, Kirkman.
On way too long.
Stupid move. So I'm glad to hear that sort of as a fan of the comic series that you're satisfied. You feel like they hit the right beats well within it and stuff like that. So that's encouraging. I didn't really know about the series at all. I didn't know about the show. Again, Gay Florida Nerd had to let me know about this show, and I was like, okay, what's all this business? And I actually
our good buddy Mark Truex had been talking about Invincible for years now. I tuned him out. You never even heard him in the first place.
That's probably true.
I think that kind of sums up our friendship.
I only listen to Mark about Worlds Collide comics, so you let me know when Amazon gets a Chill and Badger series going on. Mm-hmm. I don't think the world's ready for Chill anymore in his beliefs. But anyway, I digress.
Pick up some chills.
I didn't really know anything about the property coming in, so like I said, clean slate for me, and I thought it was just such a total home run, and I can't wait for season 2. I want to meet again more of like the other characters in this world and some of the other teams and stuff like that. But who are some of your favorite characters, Mark? And I know this is kind of plowed ground from last week a little bit, but I fucking love these characters, so we're gonna keep talking about them. Mark, who do you like?
Omni-Man is just a far standout. Absolutely. The way they utilized him and did his turn, J.K. Simmons killed it. Absolutely killed it. It's one of the best developed characters I've seen on TV, I feel like, in a while. On top of that, I always liked Alan the Alien, and I thought Seth Rogen actually, he nailed that part too. The way that he pops in and out of the series, just like that. What's cool, again, it's like they took these beats from the comic and adapted it perfectly, like where it's like you get all those as like a comic fan, those iconic panels. It's like they played it on screen perfectly. They did this, did this, did this, and a lot of the stuff with Alan the Alien like really hit home with them sitting on the rock, conferring on the moon and all that. It was great.
Davis did not like Seth Rogen being involved, if I recall correctly from this.
I'm fine with that. I'm not a huge Seth Rogen fan, but I didn't think he took away from this.
I didn't think so either.
But who I think really stood out on the show was Monster Girl. I thought her character really came through splendidly.
Was great. Mm-hmm. Such an interesting power too.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's just really cool idea. Yeah, and just some of the weirdness that ensued from the nature of the curse and everything like that. But yeah, she was, first of all, it was great in the training montage with her and everything like that. Again, what a cool transformation and power that is. I'm gonna go with Damien Darkblood, the demon detective. That character is awesome, and I would have loved to have gotten a little bit more of him in season 1. I don't know. He just jumped off the screen to me, and it was just so interesting. I rewatched in getting ready for this the first couple episodes, and I loved him being at the scene of the crime where the Guardians of the Globe were murdered, just him touching the blood and seeing sort of what happened, but not the entire picture. I don't know, just a cool character. And even Cecil being like, I don't know, it's through like demon magic or something. I really, really liked it, and Cecil for that matter. Jeff, who now that you finished it, who are sort of your favorites?
Yeah, Invincible is still my favorite, and then I also love Omni-Man. Those are probably my top two. I love Cecil, and I'm a huge Mauler twins fan. I love the interactions between the two of them, the one and the clone. It's always hilarious.
Dude, Davis and I mentioned again on the Lost video, but did you not get Prestige vibes from the whole clone, which is the man in the box kind of aspect?
Yeah, you have to.
I'm sorry it was you. Like, this was always planned.
that was like, I couldn't stop thinking about that. I was like, holy shit, they're doing a Prestige right now.
The first time I watched the series, that's what I thought of it. I'm rewatching it now with Jennifer, and despite the violence, she's really into it. Excellent. I think that shows just how compelling the story is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as far as villains go, they were my favorite, other than Omni-Man, if you consider him a villain.
well, I guess we'll find out in the superhero bracket battle.
Yeah.
Spoiler, I think he's a hero.
Same from the universe.
I really liked again just the original Guardians.
Is it so wrong what they're doing? You know?
Well, yes.
Maybe some of the ways they go about it.
The rest are like dogs.
I talked about it before, but how they describe was it Red Rush? How he talks about his powers, how he always is perceiving the world at that speed. So normal conversations take hours to him.
That's terrifying.
It is. I think he'd go insane. And
and like I said, they mentioned that I don't know if it was like an X-Men or an X-Factor, and I don't know, Mark, if you ever read that, but Quicksilver basically said the same thing, and it's why he's always irritable, and it's why he's just like agitated and just like unfriendly a lot of the time because he's basically in living hell.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
I love the Martian storyline, and in rewatching, going back and seeing what I think he's just called like, I don't know, Martian Man or something. I forget what his actual Guardians of the Globe character name is, but seeing the Martian that was on the team and then like harkening back to when they actually go to Mars was cool. I'm excited for that storyline to come more about in season 2. I think one of the coolest things about the show is how it ended and how yes, Omni-Man is still out there and we're going to see what happens with him, but they did such a great sort of little montage of like, hey, these are the bads that we got coming up in season 2 or beyond.
Stuff to still deal with.
Yeah. Like what Dr. Seismic or whatever his name is still out there with those weird like lava people. Yeah.
It's like a mole man situation.
Yeah. He cracked me up too, with just how he was talking about the Mount Rushmore, what was going on there. They're fascists, racists. It's freaking hilarious. And just all the things that we have coming in season 2. And what they showed that race of aliens that keep sort of going back to their world and figure out new ways to invade Earth and stuff like that. It was just
also awesome.
Super rad. Any other standout? Like Jeff, I know you and I were talking offline a little bit about this as far as where you see Omni-Man ending up and what his alignment will be. What do you foresee for him, or what do you want to see happen?
I don't want to look at Mark's face in case he gives anything away from the comic books that he's read, but I am really hoping that Omni-Man decides to side with Earth, because he does love his family, and that over the past 17 years, he has changed. And then I thought we kind of saw that with the flashback, especially when you see how he was carrying on at that softball game. And it's like, it's still a very prickly invader type, where it's like all of this is beneath him, having to do like an everyday Earth person life. And it also kind of brought me back to her reminiscing about their first date. And it's like, you thought I should have worshipped you. And, you had that kind of attitude. And it's like, that's not the kind of man.
It's fucking Vegeta.
Well, I have a meme that I could share about that, actually, where it's like, are you saying that it's basically just the planet Vegeta if Frieza never destroyed it? And it's like, it's an oversimplification, but yes.
He is like Vegeta in that regard, though.
They drop a Saiyan off on every planet and expect them to conquer it for them. Yeah, that is exactly what happens. But, I mean, like I said, and like Vegeta, I mean, it was the love of his family and the interaction with his peers that changed him. And I mean, if Vegeta could change and I saw him destroy a planet of peaceful people, it's like, then I'm pretty sure Omni-Man can change too. He didn't kill his son, and he could have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Came very close.
Yeah, I mean, came a lot closer than we would like him to. But
well, I do think
I'm hoping that he comes back. And if it has to be like you've said this, it has to be a sacrifice, that it's not necessarily something that he'll be able to live through and then go on with his life. I'm fine with that too, but I want him to do it heroically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just hard to come back from murdering Earth's greatest heroes and then I don't know.
Well, he's Earth's greatest hero.
Well, yeah, but the rest.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But
his friends, co-workers,
different. I do like the sort of, what is it? Seth Rogen's here is Alan the Alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of the incredulity that he showed about the fact he's like, I've never known what it was, a Viltrumite, or what were they?
To abandon a planet.
To abandon their planet before. Yeah. So it's like the idea, like that's never happened before. So there has to be another sort of shoe to drop. I'm not ruling out that Invincible is going to get his ass kicked by Daddy again, but I do think eventually it's like the Darth Vader thing. We've seen that there is conflict within him, and eventually I think he is going to choose, the side of Earth and everything like that. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Mark, is the comic over? Like, is it done?
Comic's over. Yeah. I mean, the comic first came out and I can't remember, like 2003. Maybe.
Okay. Oh, it's that old?
It's been it's been around.
No wonder this is good.
So it got wrapped up a while back, and it went like 150 issues, somewhere around there. So I've only read the first third of it, of the entire series.
That's all you own?
Yeah, I only have the first 9 trades. Dude, that was what I would get at Comic-Con. I'd go hunting, but I had to get it sequentially. I wasn't just going to buy like volume 14 and 15 on sale. I had to get 11 and 10 first,
Fucking Ultraverse has distracted you. You got to get back on your Invincible collection now. Oh, yeah. I get it. Leave it to us to pick up the next 2/3.
I'm gonna because definitely like getting to watch.
Jeff, you're having a stroke.
Well, just getting to watch this, like I want to go back and read it over again, and really season 1 is summed up in the first 5 trades. They cram a lot into season 1, a lot of the story beats and stuff they do. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in how they see the overall story arc of the series play out. I mean, they already have it completed, so
it didn't feel like rushed either. No. Is the thing that was a cool aspect of it. Got to shout out Robot as well. I know we talked about him a little bit, but yeah, very cool character. I mean, in a show that's full of them. Just very interested to see what happens with him now that he's in the creepy little young Rexplode body. In love with the monster girl.
That was another sad story, like finding out what he actually was like and everything. Because I was wondering about Robot, because when he was talking about abandoning the city and nuking it, I was like, damn, that's really cold. He's like a little too analytical. And then allowing him to, or when he was letting the Muller twins escape, I was like, what is going on with Robot? And then seeing what that was all about. And then like watching it again, it's like he let them escape, but he prevented them from killing any of the security guards. And then, of course, he had it set up for them to be apprehended as soon as he got what he needed from them.
He
didn't give them anything.
It was an incredibly risky gambit, but
I mean, he probably calculated it appropriately where there was no risk knowing him. So
creepy.
Yeah. I mean, well, he's on our side, thank goodness.
Data wants his Tasha Yar. But I want to do I want to do this with the boys. Like if we were to create a superhero in the boys world, but now that we're in the Invincible world, we're beyond that. Now we're in the Invincible world. If you were to be a superhero in this world, just like, when we go to Mark Hamill's Taylor character, what's your name? What's your deal there? Jeff, we'll start with you, because if you're a true believer, that Jeff is a master of this sort of stuff with House Bud and our Game of Thrones talk. So who's your Invincible superhero, Jeff?
I'm like Batman. You give me enough prep time, it's like I'll make it work. I came up with 2 characters, actually.
Nice.
The one that I came up with first, his name is Feedback, and he basically uses like sound waves. It's kind of like Banshee, but it doesn't come out of his mouth. He can just kind of generate it from like his hands or something like that.
Nice.
And then also I was going to do the flying ability.
As an audiophile, I really appreciate that, by the way.
And then so like he doesn't normally wear a cape, but he can like push this thing on his chest where it's kind of like this glider cape, and then he can shoot the sound waves into the glider, and that's how he sort of flies. And then he can just glide the rest of the way. I wanted, I was thinking as far as the design goes, I was thinking maybe just like some cool sunglasses as far as covering his face goes. Head sock for sure, because I just feel that's how it should be. I like how everybody's hair looks when they're wearing the head sock. Also, I was thinking maybe he could have like some sort of sound muffling thing in his ears in the head sock, just because of the power that he has. And then color scheme, I was thinking it was probably going to be like black and blue because I really like those colors. But to make it a little different than Invincible, it would probably be a darker shade of blue. So maybe more like our Mortal Kombat champion, Cole Young,
nice.
aka Sub-Zero. And then I was thinking there would be a part where like he was one of the people that they put in like the way of Omni-Man or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, I've never used like my sound powers like this hard before. And Cecil's like, well, we're counting on you, feedback, and then I'm doing it, and then like Omni-Man just like slowly coming over and then just ripping both of his arms out of their sockets, and that's how feedback dies.
Oh shit!
But it would have been cool. It would have been a cool way to go.
It would have been, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the other character I came up with is his name is Tech Deck, and so it's all technological gadgets, and he rides a skateboard, and he's like a young teen genius. So he's like only like 14 years old, and he goes to the same high school as the main characters. So he knows like Mark and Eve and everything like that. And so he's kind of dressed up like. Did you ever watch the TV show Static Shock?
No.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like his friend when he started getting abilities, and it was all like technopath stuff, and he kind of had like an outfit like that. So it would be like this flying skateboard, and then also like he'd wear the helmet, and he'd have like a bunch of like circuitry and stuff like that. He'd probably have some like computer gauntlet thing that he types into. No actual superpowers though. He's just a genius, and so it's all self-made type stuff. I didn't know if I would have him be on a team. I feel he's too young to actually be on the team because like he's really like on the outs. He's like just a real up and comer type character. And so maybe he's just more of like sort of a follow along, tag along type character like that. And even idolizes like Invincible and everything because of how young he is. So that would have been my other character. And his color scheme is more like red, white, and silver.
Dope. Marco, what do you got?
So my character I have in my mind is named Soul, like the sun, and
nice.
And it's someone that's kind of like worshipped as a god in certain areas, and people like totally praise them, and they actually get their power from the sun and the solar radiation, and so it kind of comes off like looking like light powers, but it's also extremely radioactive, so like they could touch people and just start like melting them and burning them, as well as shooting some blasts. But you got to still regenerate it through the sun itself and power up, so eventually you get weakened through battle and you can be out, you got nothing, you got to go recharge. But yeah, lots of like deity worshiping and stuff like that, and abusing their power.
Excellent.
Like taking advantage of people. Yeah.
I like it. Who I came up with is Tempus Imperium. He's a Roman legionnaire gifted with powers of time manipulation. So he, of course, traveled, back and forward in time to become a master of war. But in doing so, created, a few fractures in the space-time continuum. So he came to the Age of Heroes, the Invincible world, because he feels responsible for why all the bad shit's going on. And he figures that through his vast knowledge, being in the time period where all these heroes exist, are their best chance for total victory. And so his time manipulation power, the further ahead or back he goes, the more chance for fractures in the space-time continuum there are. So basically, he's kind of Omega 13ing it, is how he fights, which is while he's fighting, he can rewind and sort of adjust to what his opponent's going to throw at him, and that doesn't create any sort of issues because the shorter the period of time, the more accurate he's able to use his power. And so think in terms of his color scheme, like Maximus, the general from Gladiator, before he became the actual Gladiator with the cloak and everything like that, and the armor and stuff. That's why I'm rocking, because I love going backward and forward in time and living in the past. So that would absolutely be my character.
Does he know Immortal?
He probably does, actually. Originally, he was going to have just lived a bunch of lifetimes in ancient Rome, and I actually read about Immortal. I was like, oh, that's kind of his thing, so I had to change his backstory a little bit. So that's what I got going on. But I just love the idea of like a little rewind power in fighting. I think it's kind of it's similar to sort of the Speed Force, but in reverse almost. Some would say I'm the reverse. But yeah, I just wanted to do that fun little. What a cool world, and I'm looking forward to seeing more heroes in Invincible, more villains, and what we get into. But we're gonna take one more break. On the other side, we're gonna be talking about Legends of the Hidden Temple making a comeback. We know Mark hates the movie, But will he like this new show on the other side in the Best Damn Nerd Show? Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid alongside Jeff Budd and Mark Truex for one final segment. And we're going to be talking about Nickelodeon game shows to close things out here. It was a news that sort of sent the nerdosphere all aflutter in a positive way. I saw just so many people posting the link that, Legends of the Hidden Temple is getting a reboot and a casting call for adults. They're going to be doing Legends of the Hidden Temple for adults. And I just want to get what you guys thought of it and then reminisce a little bit about our time with Kirk Fogg and Mark O'Malley and Mark Summers and Summer Sanders and the like on Nickelodeon game shows, because they did have quite a lineup of shows and everything like that. But your thoughts on the news that Legends of the Hidden Temple is coming back with adults, Marco?
So, I mean, this is news to me, I gotta say. I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention on the Discord. So bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord. Rarely. And so here, this is actually kind of exciting because while it was a kid's show back then, I mean, if you're just remaking it for kids again, I think you're going to get more bang for your buck playing to the audience that enjoyed it and has that nostalgia for it. And especially with the rise of different obstacle course game shows, whether it's like things like Wipeout or American Ninja and all that stuff. The floor is lava. Anyone?
No one.
But do it again and make it for us, right? And have fun with it. Have that nostalgia feel on it. And make the obstacles more intensive.
Yeah, I mean, exciting. I think it's a cool idea.
I'll give it a nerdgasm. Sorry.
Thank you, Mark. Nerdgasm or no-gasm, Jeff.
I mean, I feel like the word adult is being thrown around too much these days. If you're excited about this, then no, you're not an adult. I do not grant you the status of adult. You need to move on.
I'm an adult.
We just talked about how there are adult game shows that you can go on. What are you going to do as an adult? You're going to hand over your little medallion to the guy dressed up as a native who is popping out to scare you?
What they
are you going to answer your Lewis and Clark
stuff?
Trivia questions, adult? Is that
they
what
got to eat a gallon of earthworms before claiming the totem?
It's so tiresome. And then also, let's look at what the average adult in the United States are. You're telling me that we really need to up the difficulty in what was going on in the old Legends of the Hidden Temple? Pretty sure you guys can't handle the competition back then either. So I don't know. I'm going to say no-gasm. We don't have to bring everything back. It's all right for things to just stay where they were.
That's absolutely true. Jeff makes a very valid point.
I'm sorry, Mark. Can you only have fun with things that you had fun with previously? You can't have new things?
No, you got it.
Oh, Mark, I'd love to play a quote from you not that long ago. We could just have Mark debate himself on the podcast.
the ever turning human contradiction would be Mark's power as well.
Was it? Well, I don't know.
I totally get what you're saying, Jeff, is that I guess the excitement I think that stems from a lot of people, at least for me, is the idea that we're talking about Legends of the Hidden Temple in 2021 because, I am nostalgic for it. Davis and I dressed up as contestants one year for Halloween. It's a very fun sort of patch of our lives where Nickelodeon was destination programming for so many of us, and Legends of the Hidden Temple was such a cool show. And I think for, especially for us sort of nerdy adventurer types, Kirk Fogg invoking sort of the Indiana Jones-esque sort of tour guide leader of the show and everything like that. I think in some seasons, at the end, he'd come down on a rope or whatever kind of deal. But early on, he was just sort of walking down that awkward ramp by Olmec. But I mean, I would like if they bring it back, or I guess with them bringing it back, you gotta bring back Kirk Fogg to host it. Like that's a must. Olmec will be back. I hope it's still in the same way. Better still just say let's rock. Go ahead, Jeff. What's
this an adult show where Olmec's going to be talking to them?
Yeah, that's right.
What if it's like all of Survivor?
Trivia questions about the legend of Paul Revere's musket.
What if it's like Survivor mode though? They take them out to an actual island with real obstacles and like.
Then why don't you just make it its own show? You could do something like that. Just make it its own show.
You need a hook.
I want to know.
I have to wear my Silver Snakes t-shirt while I'm doing this?
Yes. It's team building. It's team building. I hope the Mayan temple guards are extra scary. Like put them guys on some steroids. So that was honestly one of my favorite.
Just bring back American Gladiators a third time.
Hey, bring back Hulk Hogan.
That show is always good.
I loved the Mayan temple guards as a kid. In fact, I probably spent more time rooting for them to show up than I did for any of the individual teams. I just I loved how freaked out all the kids would get.
Could you do that nowadays? Are you allowed to,
to adults? Yes,
do the full costume dressed up like that? Yeah.
Oh, the appropriation.
Yeah.
Hey, well, if you get real Mayans, are there any of them around? There's that TV show.
Like you wear the authentic dress and you can have a job.
So I don't see why not. Apparently the steps of knowledge
portrayed
are
in a negative light on the show as well,
Well, I feel like Olmec was a Mayan. And
we're here to pillage your culture. Give us your treasures.
Well, no, also the treasures were often sort of inexplicable in that temple. So you got to bring back the Mayan temple guards. You got to bring back, they are bringing back steps of knowledge. You got to bring back Kirkfog. I will not be satisfied if there is not the shrine of the silver monkey. Like if that doesn't exist, I'm out, man. What the hell? Who's your favorite?
Kids have trouble putting that together. I mean,
they did. So they always struggled.
And it's like, do you not see the tail? Do you not see the head? I mean, oh well, idiots.
I mean, did you like Legends of the Hidden Temple?
I loved it. I was a huge fan. I thought it was a really cool show. I mean, my favorite color is blue. We were talking about this in the Discord, but Silver Snakes for me, that was your top tier team. I don't know what the statistics are. I think we looked at it a while back, and I forget which team won the most. Memory for me, I would have thought it was Silver Snakes. It always seemed like they were always in the finals when I watched, but I want to say it was like Orange Iguanas or something like that, which I thought they were always like idiots for me. They never even got past like the first round when like two teams just get eliminated right off the bat.
So
them and the Purple Parrots, useless.
The good people at Nerdist actually broke down who sort of the most successful, least successful teams were, which like great on them for doing that, by the way. It was sort of a ponderous thing that they had to do.
Would you not rewatch the show and just tally up the votes? You were a fan. You wouldn't just keep track of it?
I have rewatched the show over the years. That there was a time where they were all like on Daily Motion or YouTube, and just to kill like a lazy Sunday night in or whatever, just have it on and be watching. Blue is my favorite color, so
yeah, that's kind of bizarre, isn't it, Mark?
A little bit.
Yeah,
hey, don't question it.
Yeah. I don't want to dive too deep. I don't want to ruin my friendship with you.
But I liked blue, so of course I like the Blue Barracudas. But as a kid, I didn't think the Barracuda was like a fearsome enough sort of like avatar. So I was always sort of let down by that. I gravitated more towards like the Red Jaguars or the Silver Snakes as a watcher, because I was like, at least like those are kind of cooler animals in my opinion, to sort of have as your backing. Was not a fan of into that notion, the sort of the orange iguanas and the purple parrots is kind of like Nah. But they did break for us. Yeah, they did break down. Mark, who was your team? Who'd you like? Did you watch?
I like the Green Monkeys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would watch it in
Mark
passing.
Team.
Dude, they look great.
I'll bet you think that.
Yeah, I do.
So based off of the sort of algorithm that Nerdist came up with, the sixth, aka the least successful team in Legends of the Hidden Temple history, were the Purple Parrots. They were the worst.
Good.
They were second worst at the moat, mediocre on the Steps of Knowledge, easily the worst during challenges, with the fewest appearances in the final run and the fewest wins. Those are the Purple Parrots. Fifth.
Never going to get your, was it the LA Lights or I forget which sneakers they
Never going to get your trip to space camp at this rate. The fifth,
trip to Universal Studios where I'm already at.
The fifth best, aka the second worst, the Red Jaguars.
Really? I thought they were a better team than that.
Okay, so here's the breakdown. They were the best at the moat. So you would see the Red Jaguars win a lot in the moat right in the beginning. So you'd think they'd be in pole position there. But they had the lowest winning percentage on the steps. They were horrible in the challenges. Tied for fourth. Yeah, tied for fourth in the final run appearances and wins. So they sort of make up for it there a little bit, at least sort of middling there, I guess. But yeah, they say in the editorial is Red Jaguars don't actually exist in nature. Once they got across the pool, they didn't really exist on the show either. Fourth best, aka third worst, the Blue Barracudas. They were subpar in the moat, poor performance on the steps.
Ironic.
Followed by a good showing in the challenges with only the fifth most appearances in the final run, but a respectable showing once they made it in. Yeah, they did a decent job of winning.
When they showed up, they took it to the...
Yeah. Okay. And then the third best Jeff, is your team, the Silver Snakes.
That blows my mind. It seemed like every episode I saw, they were always there.
They good to start, subpar in the middle rounds, but with both the most wins in the run and the best winning percentage once they got there.
Oh, maybe that's why. Okay.
So this is the first ranking where you can argue for moving up a team. The Silver Snakes did tie with 8 total victories in the show's history, which means a team with only 4 wins is above them. But their performance in the third round, 8
episodes I saw. Over and over again.
So this one's kind of a more of a, I feel like, according to sort of the overall competitiveness in all the challenges, as opposed to, I mean, they were a very successful team. The second best were the Orange Iguanas, and then the best team, the Green Monkeys. The Green Monkeys.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that. I cannot remember them ever winning.
Dude, this is news to me.
Second best performance in the most wins and best winning percentage on the steps, most challenge wins. With third best win, second most run appearances, and tied for the most overall wins and the second best winning percentage in the final round. So your team did it, Marco.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I never doubted them.
So there it is. There's our deep dive on Legends of the Hidden Temple. Which other Nick game shows did you really like the most, or would you have I guess really wanted to be on? Like for me, I always wanted to be on Nick Arcade. Like that
Absolutely, dude. You get to go inside a video game at the end.
Yeah, the show looked insanely awesome.
I didn't even understand that kind of technology at the time. I was like,
have they remade that show?
No, and they could do such a better job with it now. I liked all the different arcade games that were like on the menu, and it's like, which one do you want to play? And then you would challenge like the other team. It's like whoever got the higher score. Oh man, if you put Galaga on there, I'd still be playing. I don't lose. I win.
You know, you're the best Galaga player
That's what I do. I'm a Galaga pilot. John's seen me. I'm the best.
But Nick Arcade seems like one that if I'm sort of puzzled that they haven't tried to remake it, just for what you said, is that they like the technology is there now. Sort of gamer culture is even higher now than it was then in terms of the popularity and stuff. I just feel like there's meat left on the bone there to be done with Nick Arcade. Yeah. Mark, what else did you like?
I was really just Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Wait, Guts?
Didn't watch a whole lot more. Yeah, because I didn't get to watch it a whole lot. I didn't have cable growing up. So it was a treat getting to watch those kids tramp through that temple.
For me, Mark, I took it for granted.
The only other things I can think of it, and see, I can't even remember the name. Was it Truth or Dare or something? It's
Double Dare.
Double Dare, where they're picking snot out of the noses and stuff. That looked really fun. But then it's like you get all gooey at the end.
You got to crawl through the earwax.
Yeah, yuck. So that was always pretty entertaining to see.
Double Dare was great. I don't want to do Family Dare. It's like my parents
Family Double Dare
to do that contest correctly. They don't know the answers to these questions.
You just resent them for all time over it.
Just
too.
Put me with another kid, like me, and say 2 of us will get through all this, no problem.
What's it done?
Mark Summers though is sort of like he's to
the
me.
Guy.
He's the guy, dude. He's the
what would you do?
Of
the real what would you do,
show?
not the obnoxious hidden camera one.
Yeah, no, what would you do? Double Dare, Family Double Dare, just like that. He was the dude. And just what a great host he was and everything like that. So Mark Summers was I loved What Would You Do? That was just because his personality really got to shine in that. I feel like too.
Yeah.
Really came across. Jeff, what shows or which ones of those I guess did you like the most?
Everything that we've mentioned so far. We could talk more about Guts too. I loved Guts. I especially loved Global Guts because I like taking it international. Yeah, it's like not only did I of course support the American teams when there was an American, but I also liked it when there wasn't an American. Gave me a little bit more freedom to choose which country it was that I wanted to root for. Because I always backed the good old US of A when they were all there.
Of course.
But sometimes maybe I wanted to root for Great Britain or for Germany or something like that.
Global Guts is better than the Olympics. I don't really get down with the Olympics. Global Guts though was amazing.
Well, I love the Olympics, and so Global Guts was great for me. It's the Olympics every week, And I was a fan of Mike O'Malley and the game show they had before that, which I want to say is like Powerline or something like that. It's sort of where you would answer a question and then there was a grid and then you would say which points you wanted connected with the line. And then if you ever made a box, that part of the picture would be revealed. And once enough were revealed, your team would try to guess what it was. And then that's how you would like move on to the next round. That was a great game. And then whenever that got canceled by Nickelodeon, he like went straight to Guts and he started doing Guts instead. So
take it over to Mo.
Yeah, I loved Mo. Mo was great with the ref shirt and their accent. And like,
came straight from Foot Locker on Guts.
I used to always say it was like kids American Gladiators, even though it's not like they were going up against like roided kids or anything. But I liked the physical competition. Loved the idea of the aggro crag.
Oh, dude, who doesn't want to take home a piece of that radical rock? Man? Yeah. Like, I would love to have a piece of the aggro crag in my house.
And then I loved, what was Summer Sanders' show called?
Figure It Out.
Figure It Out was great because it was all the Nickelodeon celebrities, and they're all trying to guess what the hidden talent was.
Summer Sanders, total smoke, by the way. What a babe,
dude! Yeah, this is like one of the first ones you really appreciated.
Yes, coming into your awakening. Ooh. But yeah, and you get all the Nickelodeon stars and stuff like that on there. However, I do have. I mean, the stuff, the talents that I heavily put in quotes for Figure It Out were.
I will not take the Sam Roberts bashing.
Highly dubious. Was he on there?
Yeah.
Have we talked about this?
No.
I must have blocked it out.
Yeah.
But like the supposed talents that they had in going on Figure It Out, it's like I keep my toe jam in jars, or like I save hair and like attach it to dolls. It was weird, disgusting stuff. Like it was not any sort of actual talent.
I never really even cared about the talents. That was fine. I just cared about the Keenan and Kel banter. Loved seeing Josh on there. A lot of the All That kids were just hysterical.
Yeah.
And so it was always good to have all of them. I was fans of all of them. I thought those were all great shows, so I enjoyed seeing them. The host from Nick Arcade used to be on sometimes. What I always liked was I remember a couple of times like Keenan had figured it out, but he wanted the kid to win.
Oh, totally.
And so he purposely would throw it. And like Kel, I don't think he ever gave a serious answer at the end. He would always say something incredibly stupid so that the kid would get their trip. The only person I ever saw
I would have been hardline
try to solve the mystery so that she would look smart was
Lori Beth Denberg.
Lori Beth Denberg.
Fucking
and it's like, you bitch.
You missed an adjective in there, but yeah.
Tickets to Universal Studios. What's it to you? What? So that we can say that you're bright?
I'm with Lori Beth on this one. I would have played it straight.
Funniest on all that.
What about Wild and Crazy Kids?
Wild and Crazy Kids.
Underrated.
Donnie Jeffcoat. Was it Omar Gooding? Yeah,
Omar Gooding, Donnie Jeffcoat.
And then they had the two different girls.
Yeah.
They had the brunette girl, and then they went with the redhead.
It
was like Jessica something. Yeah, that was a great show. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, actually, from Figure It Out, I know one that you would love. It was a girl, and her hobby was she collected photos with different celebrities. And like big celebrities like Tom Hanks and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then they were interviewing her at the end about her hobby. And it's like, who was your favorite person that you took a picture with? And it was HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
This is what I'm figuring out.
He played dolls with her. And they showed the picture of the two of them. Yeah, because she was like hanging out backstage. So he was playing with her Barbie dolls with her or whatever. And he took the photo. And you can't turn it off, Sean.
No, dude, he's fucking walking sex appeal, man.
But I thought of all the celebrities, that's who she named. And I saw just a blank look on Summer Sanders' face. Zero recognition.
Sean's a real athlete, Summer, unlike you.
She's got her medal.
Yeah, nobody cares about that unless you're Kurt Angle. I certainly don't.
You really don't like the Olympics.
I don't really care about the Olympics at all. I want America to win the most because I'm an American and that's important to me. But the actual things they're participating in, I tune it out, man. I can't hang with it. It's boring. I don't like it. You don't even get the best at everything in there unless it's basketball. Anyway.
Wild and Crazy Kids was good because sometimes it would just be like kids versus adults. And it was always just like basically, fuck these adults. And all the kids just squirting them with shit. And then as a kid, it's like, yeah, this speaks to me. I relate to this.
I don't know if we count this one or not, but Nickelodeon Super Toy Run was. I don't know what that is. Basically it's kind of like the whatever that supermarket. It's like it was kind of, I think you had to win a contest to get on there or something, or at least that's the story I came up with my mind, that I was not on it. But I never wanted to be on a show more than the Toys R Us Super Toy Run that they did. So it was basically a kid that would go into Toys R Us and had a certain amount of time to get as much stuff as he could and make it back to the finish. And if you made it back to the finish, you get to keep it or whatever. But if you didn't, you lost it all. So you had to time it out. You had to time it out. God, I remember watching it and being like, I would go straight for the action figures. And I know electronics are worth more and stuff like that, but at that age,
as a kid, you don't appreciate that.
At that age, I was so all about action figures. God,
I was just gonna ride the cart right past the Hero Quest and go to the action figures. Shame on you.
Well, now that I know that, I would have grabbed, dude, and knowing how much they're worth now,
just stack it up.
Yeah, knowing what I know now, of course. But yeah, that was definitely one that I want to be a part of. I want to tell a quick Guts story here as we sort of wind down, as well as I was replaying Guts on Noggin or whatever it was, and was hungover Thanksgiving week watching it back at home at a friend's house, and they were doing, I think it must have been Global Guts, but they were sort of interviewing the contestants. Maybe it wasn't Global Guts, but I'll never forget this one contestant. They were talking about, sort of like giving their backstory and what they were competing for and whatnot. And this contestant's name was Jerome. And it was like, they're filling out where he came from. And it's like, what does Guts mean to you? And it's like, to Jerome, Guts means tolerance. And I was like, dude, look at Jerome on Guts. He's like competing for civil rights. And I was like, this guy's awesome. And I think he ended up getting screwed at the end, but he was easily the best competitor. He like won all of the games.
Did he tolerate their decision?
Some like technicality at the aggro crag. Yeah, it was such crap. I'll have to go back and find that episode again, but I've often wondered what happened to him. But I always appreciated Jerome's fight, and his skill level at Guts was.
Where was Jerome from? Do you remember?
Somewhere in America.
Oh, he was an American. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where he was from.
Good for you, Jerome. I hope he's still fighting a good fight.
Yeah, I do too. I
didn't cause him to become disillusioned or anything.
One of my favorite athletes, Jerome.
More so than Summer Sanders, I think.
Well, yeah, Jerome competed in games that actually I care about. Ones that take, in my opinion, more skill. So, and they were competing for something that I covet more than a gold medal, the aggro crag. So, yeah. Well, I think we'll leave it right there for this evening. Legends of the Hidden Temple making a comeback. I assume the Best Damn Nerd Show will be sending in our applications, and we'll be killing it on the steps of knowledge. That's where I really thrived. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Have a great week, everyone. Remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud.